So, what if I told you the best way to lead wasn't from the front, but from behind? Today, we're going to dive into a philosophy that completely flips the script on traditional power structures. It's called servant leadership, and it boils down to one pretty radical idea. To lead, you've got to serve first. For the longest time, we pictured leaders as these commanders at the top of a pyramid, right? Just barking orders down. But let's be real, in today's world, which is super fast, super collaborative, that old model is just, well, it's failing. We're figuring out that real, effective leadership isn't about command and control anymore. It's all about connection. So that kind of forces us to ask a tough question, doesn't it? Is your leadership style, or hey, the style of the person leading you, really built for how we work today? I'm talking complex projects, crazy deadlines, remote teams, the whole shebang. And it's a super important question, because the answer is literally the difference between a team that thrives and one that just survives. Okay, so take a look here. On the left, you've got the old way, the classic pyramid. One leader on top, everyone else below. That's the past. But on the right, that's the future. The leader is at the bottom, supporting the whole team, holding them up. And let me tell you, this isn't just shuffling boxes on an org chart. No way. This is a total revolution in how we think about leadership. So how do we actually make that shift? Well, it all starts with this idea of leading by serving. It's a seriously powerful way to think about leadership for today's world, where your job as a leader isn't to be the boss. It's to be your team's #1 resource. So what is servant leadership exactly? Well, the term was coined by this guy, Robert K. Greenleaf, and the idea is so simple it's almost revolutionary. It's this: a leader's main job, their #1 priority, is to serve their team. So instead of being obsessed with just the bottom line, you're focused on the people actually doing the work. You care about their growth, their well-being, and making sure they feel empowered. In this world, serving is leading. And you can really see the difference right here. The traditional leader, they command, they control. But the servant leader, they coach, they enable. One tries to hoard all the power, while the other gives it away. They empower their people. It's a completely different way of showing up to work every single day. I love thinking about it like this pyramid, okay? You have to build it from the ground up. You can't just jump to the top. The foundation, the absolute base of everything, is empathy. You gotta genuinely try to understand your team. Once you have that, you can really start doing some active listening. And when people feel heard, what happens? You build trust and psychological safety. That's the next layer. And that safety, that's the fertile ground for real growth and development. And when you have a team that's growing and trust each other, what do you get at the very top? You get amazing results and impact. See how each layer builds on the last? It's brilliant. All right, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but does it actually work in the real world? And the answer is a big, loud yes. Let's look at a couple of huge companies that have put this exact idea into practice, and the results they got are just incredible. First up, Microsoft. Specifically, let's talk about the change under their CEO, Satya Nadella. I mean, when he took the reins, Microsoft had this reputation for a really competitive, kind of cutthroat internal culture. He knew right away that something big had to change. And what he did was basically a masterclass in servant leadership. He famously shifted the culture from being a bunch of know-it-alls to becoming learn-it-alls. Now, why was that so powerful? Well, think about it. In the tech world, things change in a blink. Pretending you have all the answers is a guaranteed way to lose. By focusing on empathy and making it safe for people to speak up, he created a space where it was okay to be curious, to try new things, and yeah, even to fail sometimes. And that is the absolute secret sauce for innovation. And the results? I mean, they were staggering. This one shift in leadership philosophy completely turned Microsoft around, making it one of the most valuable companies on the planet. It's perfect proof that when you combine empathy with clarity, you get innovation. Okay, next example. Let's talk about Starbucks. Howard Schultz, the guy who built it into a global giant, had this really specific philosophy, and you can see it perfectly in the word he used for his employees. He didn't call them staff or employees, he called them partners. And look, this wasn't just some clever word choice. It was about creating a genuine sense of ownership. He famously provided things like healthcare for everyone, which was a huge deal. He was serving his team's needs first, and that created this amazing ripple effect. Less stress, lower turnover, which meant you had happier, more experienced baristas making your coffee. It's a perfect virtuous cycle. When you serve your employees, they serve your customers better. And the results of that? A global brand with a ridiculously loyal customer base, all built on a sense of community and purpose. That kind of loyalty, you can't just buy that with slick marketing. It was built from the inside out. It started by serving the partners first. Okay. I know what some of you are probably thinking right now. This all sounds a little soft, doesn't it? Like, does being a servant leader just mean you're a pushover? Absolutely not. Let's bust that myth right now. It is so important to get clear on what servant leadership is not, because honestly, these myths are what stop a lot of good leaders from even trying this powerful approach. So let's be clear. It is not about avoiding the tough calls. It is not about a lack of accountability. In fact, it demands more accountability. It's definitely not about letting chaos run wild, and it is for sure not about being passive or weak. Not at all. This right here, this nails the difference. The fake version of servant leadership is just, oh, I'm nice to everyone. But the real version, the true version is, I expect excellence from you, and I'm going to do everything I can to help you achieve it. It's the combination of high support and high standards. Both have to be there. Okay, so we've talked about the what and the why. Now let's get to the most important part, the how. Let's get super practical and talk about some real actionable steps you can take to start putting this into practice. So, you ready to give this a shot? You can literally start today. Step 1, just focus on being a better listener. Seriously. Then, go ask your team this one simple question. What do you need from me to be successful? And then, you listen. From there, it's all about providing the right tools and clarity, coaching instead of hovering over them, and actually modeling the behavior you want to see. That means being vulnerable and taking accountability yourself. And here are a few simple habits you can start building right away. Try to ask more questions than you give instructions. When things go well, share the credit. When they don't, take the accountability. Use the word we way more than you use the word I. And this one's huge, consciously make space for the quiet voices on your team to be heard. You know, when we look at the future of work, one thing becomes crystal clear. With AI, hybrid teams, and just constant change, servant leadership isn't just some nice to have anymore. It's becoming a strategic necessity. So let's wrap this up with the big takeaways. Remember, servant leadership is all about combining high support with high accountability. It's the thing that builds psychological safety, which is where real innovation comes from. It's pretty much the perfect leadership style for our crazy, agile, hybrid world. And please, never forget, empathy isn't a soft skill, it's a strategic superpower. I want to leave you with this one last thought, because I think it just captures the whole spirit of this perfectly. A traditional leader's goal is to create followers, but the true goal of a servant leader is to create more leaders. So the only question left is, which kind of leader do you want to be?